How we doing? Hey, it's Sports Talking It here tonight on this show. I know you maybe into watching Matt tonight over there at 8 o'clock talking Orioles. Good show from what I caught of it. Anyway, we're gonna talk NFL. We got a nice crew as always joining us tonight, and we're gonna talk with everyone that's on the show. Let's bring them all in, not at once, obviously. We will start with the guy coming out with a show on baseball on, I believe, Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Let's bring him in.
Thank you, Adam. You're correct, and wow, it's always an honor to be the first guest introduced on this football show. Hi, everybody. My name's Jamie Malloy, and yes, I am the baseball guy that will be doing a show on Wednesday at 8 o'clock. It's going to be with another host or a contributor to Driving to the Top Productions. His name is Mr. Joe Dalio. And see, he's a Mets fan, and I'm a Yankees fan. So our show's called the New York Subway Convo Chat, where it's going to be a baseball show where I talk about Yankee things and he talks about Met things, and we kind of butt our heads and put our brains together and try to come up with 1.5 hour show every Wednesday and things to talk about. And we also do a question of the week segment too, which I know Joe loves and tries on our Bills podcast, which I also host with Joe as well.
That's why you're here, James. Talk Bills. I know you kind of shut your show down for now, so just gonna try and keep it rolling. You know how it is, and that's what we're gonna do. Next, we're gonna bring in Dylan, who I'm not sure which team he's covering tonight. Kind of a mystery. How are you tonight, sir?
Good fellas, and Jamie, I hope David Davis likes Trevor Lawrence, because I think he's gonna like Duval County more than Western New York in January.
Ha! Well, who wouldn't want to move from New York to Florida? That's basically the trend.
Hey, you could offer to have your playoff games in Jacksonville compared to Orchard Park. We never have snow delays.
All right. So next, we're gonna bring in the Green Bay guy and the LA show that will be starting hopefully soon. We'll hear about that sooner or later. But Jason, how are you?
Adam, I am well. Thank you again for having me back on the show. It's a pleasure to be talking ball with you one more time. Jamie, always a pleasure to catch up with you. And Dylan, this is the second time I'll be talking with you. Glad to have you back on here as well. Looking forward to the chat tonight, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Next, we're going to bring on Casey, newer to the channel, second show ever. What's going on, man?
Hey, thanks for having me. Thank you. I appreciate you having me back. The first experience was a great one. I'm happy to talk Pittsburgh Steelers football, which I have an affinity for. Minnesota Vikings, whatever you throw at me. Just a lover of all things sports and happy. Jason, I don't even want to hear that nonsense from you.
Casey, if I didn't like you, I wouldn't pick on you, my friend.
I love it. Hey, but
all right.
Happy to be here. Thank you very much.
You're welcome very much.
All right, next we're bringing in a guy that I talk to about Steelers all the time, and he has his own podcast, and let's hear all about it, Mr. JT.
Hey, what's going on, gentlemen? Adam, thanks for bringing me on again. I didn't know I'd be with such royalty, but hey, 3 Steeler guys on one show. Yeah, I'm digging that. Anyhow, in the season, we're twice a week. We go live on Facebook, but you can catch us SteelersRealm.com with all our links. Mondays and Thursdays through the season. But since we're in the off season, we're just going once a week. That's Thursday night at 9 p.m. anywhere you get your podcast or our YouTube channel, or just go to Steelers Realm. Catch us there. We talk everything Steelers every time for the most part, and NFL. So we are really enjoying what's been going on too. So looking forward to chat about that with you guys.
I wasn't sure, Jay, if you guys covered out like the NFL or just Steelers too. I wasn't sure. But I mean, there's so much going on. It's hard to leave it out of the conversation in the off season, huh?
Exactly. Yeah, so much going on. I mean, we try to focus on the AFC North as much. AFC North, and then of course us too. So yeah, what's going on, man? Definitely.
So do you I guess I'll start with the first question. Do you feel Omar Khan's taking control of this team?
You know what? He did a really good job in the offseason last year, plugging some of the holes that we had, and went into the draft. Went into the draft just looking for the best athlete out there on their board. And that's kind of the old Steeler way. I don't really like what he did. Unfortunately, there were some injuries, and not everything worked out through the season that had been planned for at the beginning of the year. But I like what he's doing now. He's making all the right moves. I think you talk to most Steeler fans, you're going to get both sides of it. But I think Pittsburgh has to be ecstatic for what they're positioning themselves to do. They're not really putting themselves in a corner with this. I think they have a lot of flexibility with Russell Wilson being the starter, and then Justin Fields. And who knows what they'll do with two starting quarterbacks. You never know. It's exciting. We're looking forward to it, seeing it
I'm
unfold.
curious to see what Arthur Smith does too. He did run. I don't know that he does like throwing a tight end, so Pat Freiermuth might be a good pickup for fantasy football next year, just to let everyone know. Because right now the Steelers really only have Calvin Austin and George Pickens, which we did have that big trade to Carolina. I don't even, DJ for DJ, I guess, as you want to call it.
Yeah, that
But
was a big trade.
Like I was saying before you logged on, Omar Khan seems to be getting rid of the culture herders than anything. And I'm really digging it that he's taking control off of Tomlin as well. Feels like Tomlin's like losing his say. That's just my opinion. I mean, obviously, you all know my opinion on the guy.
Well, I think what's exciting in it all is that the fact that they're making change. We want volunteers, not hostages, is really kind of taking place now, and they're getting rid of some of that sourness in the locker room. Deontay, all the trouble that he had.
Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett. Are those rumors true, Casey? I mean, the Seattle game didn't want to rest because he didn't want to dress as the backup. I mean, who knows?
Did you see what came out the other day?
Yeah.
When Russell Wilson got signed, Kenny Pickett told his receivers to stay home.
Yep.
So he wouldn't have to go through the drills with them. That is just ridiculous.
Yep.
Makes sense why Philly of all teams picked him up. I mean, you're going to make a comment like that. That sounds like he sounds like a perfect match for Philly now if he's going to make a comment like that.
Well, he grew up there, and was his hometown team that he rooted for. So I guess he got what he wanted. I don't know. I didn't think Pittsburgh did him any favors by throwing him behind Jalen Hurts, but hey, he's in a place where he thinks he can compete, and good luck to him.
Not going to happen.
So, JT, Casey, this question is for either of you or both of you. Let me ask you this. Now that they have Justin Fields on the roster, Russell Wilson's already been told he's going to start, but
Correct.
From what I understand, they also told Justin Fields that he can compete for the starting job. It's safe to assume Wilson's going to get the start regardless of who performs well in camp. So my question is to either of you, if Justin Fields doesn't end up being the starting quarterback, do you see the Steelers using him a la Cordell Stewart / where they line him up on the outside as a wide receiver or an H-back? Seriously.
I did hear that talk actually before the trade happened.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true or not, but
I know you like that Cordell Stewart reference in there, right, JT?
Oh, dude. Hey, listen, I love Cordell. We had him on our podcast once.
Nice.
Nice. He loves to hear himself talk too. Well, I'll tell you. But yeah, I mean, we always said Cordell was ahead of his time. But hey, I said it in our podcast Thursday. Hey, why not turn him? Well, I didn't say that, but with some of our chats, turn him into /2, man. Why couldn't we do something unique with starting quarterbacks there? Bobcat, I mean, /2, line them up, move them around. Options there, definitely options there. But I think really the plan, Jason, is for Russ to start, Fields to take kind of a backseat to him and just kind of grow and learn under the vet. And then, who knows how the season unfolds and what his role may develop into. But I think it's inked pretty good now. There's no really competition, so to speak. But Fields is going to be there as the number 2 guy and possibly get some playing time here and there. It's going to be a fun preseason, man, really, to see how they use these two.
I did
Jason,
read a stat that between Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, they almost had 1,000 yards rushing last year.
I'll piggyback on that and I'll share my 2 cents. And I feel like, yes, it's Russ's job to lose. Justin has all the talent in the world. I think that really going to have to take a look at what he does in preseason and start looking at that contract early in terms of a long-term signing piece. I don't see us looking at a quarterback in the future anytime soon after the Kenny Pickett debacle. But with that said, I think that it is Russ's job, and then we are going to have the 6th round pick only to have to give up based on the amount of snaps that he gets. So
yeah, he won't go to 4.
appealing.
Right.
I think it's 51%, right?
Yeah,
But they said that 6 could turn into a 4th depending on how much Fields plays. That's what
Right,
they
it has
said.
to be 51% of
Right.
51% to get the 4th round pick.
Yeah, there you go, Adam. Thanks.
Oh, Dylan, my goodness. I just saw that Blake Snell to the Giants, and Dylan sent a chat about that. So
Go ahead, Dylan. Break that news. Go ahead.
Literally in the last couple of minutes, it's come out. Blake Snell signing a deal with the Giants. It looks like 2 years with an opt-out after year 1. So Blake Snell is going to the Bay Area to play for his old manager, Bob Melvin.
All right, breaking news. Now, Jamie and Dylan love Caleb Williams. I am not on the fence with Caleb Williams. I think he's a joke, but that's just me. I don't think he's a joke. I just think he really fell off the wagon this year and really showed to everyone that once he gets a team with no receivers, he's not very good. And that's why, Casey, I feel the Vikings traded for that pick from the Texans in the first round to try and trade their 2 draft picks in the first round to Chicago to try and get Caleb Williams. I don't know if but that's just what I feel. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but that's just what I feel. Now you're in Minnesota, Casey. Do you have anything on that at all?
I haven't heard anything in particular. I have my own personal opinions. I don't think that the draft capital that they're willing to give up is going to be into that 1 slot. I think Caleb Williams is going to the Bears, no questions asked. But I do think that number 3 at New England, that pick is up for grabs with McDaniels or Drake May. I think they're going to try and package those 2 first-round picks and maybe have to throw in a kicker of some sort to get up to that 3 spot. I also think that 5 spot with the Chargers is also intriguing. I think Harbaugh coming in there, he wants his guys, and I think that McCarthy is potentially a landing spot there, and Herbert may be up for grabs. That might be a bold statement, but Harbaugh's coming in to run that show the exact same way that he wants to run Michigan. And that is Keenan Allen's gone. Eckler's gone. Everett's gone. Everybody, they're cleaning house in San Diego. So, I mean, I don't think 1 for the Vikings is achievable. 2 at Washington, maybe. 3 at New England, I think, is probably the best bet because they need so many other pieces in New England. A quarterback is going to do them no good.
New England's a team, though, that badly needs a quarterback right now because all they got right now is Jacoby Brissett. That's all they have, and they also, I mean, they have Bailey Zappi, but I mean, like, do they really
re-signed. They re-signed the other guy too. I forget.
Do
his
you
name.
really trust not taking a quarterback and just say we're gonna roll with Bailey Zappi and trade down to build around and say, okay, this is Bailey Zappi's team? No, that's
I don't really think that they care, to be honest. I mean, their best wide receiver is Kendrick Bourne, for goodness sakes. I mean, that team is hot garbage. So
they got $82 million in cap space. That's one good thing.
But who's out there that they're going to get?
We'll see. I mean, it's not Belichick's show anymore. It's Gerard Mayo, and now they're going to start using their scout department more to make decisions. It's not going to be Belichick calling the GM shots anymore, too, besides being the head coach.
Adam, to your point, I absolutely think the Vikings are working their way into the top 5 for sure.
And I think they're going to get McCarthy, Minnesota.
I'll tell you what I think happens. I think the Minnesota Vikings get Drake May and he ends up being a Pro Bowl.
I think that's a good possibility.
I am a Drake May guy too, not just Caleb Williams. Drake May amazes me. He makes throws that a lot of guys can't make. That sounds kind of familiar. Where have I heard that before? Oh yeah, that's right. My team with Josh Allen. That's what Drake May is. He's built like he's mobile, athletic, rocket arm.
I put Drake May in the category of like Will Levis, and I'm excited to see what Will Levis could do moving forward. He showed flashes.
There's a bold statement. Mason Rudolph beats out Will Levis.
Think so?
I even forgot Mason Rudolph was in Tennessee. I knew he wasn't with the Steelers, but congratulations.
I have a real good shot at it.
Mason Rudolph is in Tennessee. Wow. Didn't realize that.
JT, what do you think?
What?
Think Rudolph got a chance to start in Tennessee?
Tennessee. No.
No, they stick with Will Levis. They seem to be infatuated with Will Levis. He seems to be their guy. Sorry, JT, didn't mean to butt in on you there, but
no, that's fine.
I don't see
my point was no.
Straight up.
Excuse me.
All right.
Please do continue though, Jason. Go ahead and finish your point, man.
Well, no, yeah. In regards to the point there about Mason Rudolph and Will Levis, said Tennessee made it abundantly clear that when they stayed away from Ryan Tannehill after he came back from injury and they started Levis over Tannehill, that was their message to the fan base saying, this is our guy. The future is now for Tennessee. I mean, I'm not ruling out the possibility of Rudolph starting. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just saying it won't happen unless Will Levis gets injured. Right. We know Tannehill's not going to be back. Tannehill's probably going to be serving nachos outside Tennessee's football stadium there come next season.
But I think he's get into coaching, but
right.
Well, the nacho thing's generous,
right? But the point is that from what I saw from Will Levis last season, with the small sample size that I saw, he has the goods. He can be a legit starting quarterback. Tennessee knows this. They'll give Rudolph a chance to compete, but I think ultimately the end of camp, come the end of August, when the season's ready to start, he's going to be their number one guy.
I think Tennessee needs to draft offensive linemen because otherwise Will Levis not going to survive the season. I don't care if you've got Calvin Ridley, DeAndre Hopkins, or Treylon Burks. The Titans need to draft linemen. And by the way, I know everybody wanted Calvin Ridley and Foxborough staying with my Jags. $92 million for 29-year-old Calvin Ridley. Oof. That's a lot of money. A lot of
jack.
That is a lot for somebody going to be 30 years old.
One thing about Calvin Ridley, he knows how to bet on himself. Oh, pun intended.
Bada boom.
Mic drop.
Right on cue. Nice job.
So Jay, what's going on with your team over there in Green Bay?
Yeah, so obviously I'm very optimistic about our Packers offseason so far. We haven't really made a lot of moves. Basically, the guys that they re-signed so far include Keyshawn Nixon, our quarterback slash kick returner. I thought that was actually a good re-signing because Keyshawn Nixon he reminds me a lot of Desmond Howard back when we had Howard as our kick returner. He has a lot of burst when he gets to the open field and breaks the tacklers. I'm not too keen on his abilities as a full-time cornerback, so I think ultimately he stays as their primary kick returner and special teams guy. They brought him back. Obviously, losing Aaron Jones hurt. I know Casey's not going to cry about that because he's now in Minnesota, Casey. But you guys got a good one, by the way. But when I found out that we got Josh Jacobs, I was elated. I was ecstatic. And something I didn't know about Josh Jacobs, guys, I did some research on him earlier this week. Josh Jacobs actually leads the NFL over the last 2 seasons with the most missed tackles in between tacklers. I think he's averaging at least 17.1 missed tackles per carry or per game that he plays in. So not only does Jacobs have that ability like Aaron Jones to push to the outside and burst the open field with that speed, but he's a pretty good in-between tackle runner too. So I really love that. We also got A.J. Dillon back. That was big. And I know
Godzilla.
Yeah, look, I know Dillon's been oft injured, and it's very hard to keep him on the field for 1 season. But if he can round back up into shape, get healthy, he and Josh Jacobs are going to be one heck of a thunder and lightning duo. If there is one thing I'll say about the Packers offseason, it's that they haven't really focused a lot on their offensive line because they have a lot of gaping holes there with Bakhtiari gone. But like Adams mentioned several times, this draft is really deep in on quality offensive linemen this season, especially guys that can be had in the 2nd and 3rd rounds. And Green Bay does have some young guys on that line that they can look forward to, but I would expect them to go really heavy in the draft on defense with safety, number 2 on the offensive line, and our tight ends. I love our tight ends. I love Musgrave. They also re-signed.
I like Tucker.
Yeah, I like Tucker too. And they also got, I talked about safety. They brought in Xavier McKinney from the New York Giants, so I think that's going to help them out. And their new defensive coordinator, Jeff Hafley, loves rushing the quarterback with those safeties deep in the backfield. So far, I've been pleased with what we've done. Given the group of talent that we have on that team now, the outstanding young players that we have at the skill positions with guys like Jaden Reed, guys like Dontavian Wicks, Christian Watson, and Romeo Dobbs, and then Jordan Love finally settling into his own here. I'm feeling really optimistic about our Packers this upcoming season, Casey.
Jason, if you don't mind, I have a question for you here. So, Josh Jacobs, absolutely a stud running back. We all know that. Aaron Jones, that guy, as a Vikings fan, I always respected his game. He brought it every week. A.J. Dillon, same thing. Yeah. But for the money, do you feel like it is that big of an upgrade going from Josh Jacobs from Aaron Jones?
I'm actually going to say yes, Casey, and here's the reason why. Because Josh Jacobs is a much better in-between tackle runner than what Aaron Jones is. And even though Aaron Jones had the ability to run in between the tackles, I think Jacobs is a more physical runner than what Aaron Jones is. Aaron Jones is pure speed. He's a gazelle in the open field. And he can bounce off the tacklers. But when it comes to playing the physical brand of running football, Josh Jacobs can definitely do that. And then, like you just mentioned, he can do a lot of the things that Aaron Jones did really well, too. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. You can drop him back even as a 4th or a 5th receiver if you need to. So, yeah, I think for the money they gave him, it's worth a shot. And, yeah, I definitely think he's going to fit in nice. Plus, something else, too, Casey. Look at the offense he's coming from and the offense he's going to. He played in an offense in Las Vegas that was about as stale as 2-week-old sourdough bread. They did not know how to implement him. Josh McDaniels, Mr. So-called offensive fucking genius, did not know how to utilize him. By the way, McDaniels is one of the most
piggybacked off of Brady for 20 years, much like Belichick did. McDaniels. That's why.
So I think Casey, given the fact that he's coming from an offense that's about as vanilla as ice cream, and going to an offense that was really more spread open and more exciting in Green Bay, I think he's going to be a lot better in Green Bay's offense than he was in the Raiders' offense the last 2 or 3 years.
I can respect that take because what's the difference? Like $5 million?
$5 million, yeah, give or take.
It was 4 years, $48 million for
Mhm.
for or for
Jacobs.
For Jacobs. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the contract. But they can always restructure it too if they feel like it's going to cause against their cap. They have the option to do that if they want to too. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and Brian Gutekunst, their GM, say what you will about him, he's done a pretty good job at restructuring contracts. Although they didn't bring back Devondre Campbell at linebacker, I was sad to see him go to the Niners. But yeah, Casey, I think given that, despite the money, I think Jacobs is definitely. I wouldn't say he's an upgrade over Aaron Jones. I would say he's kind of a carbon copy of Aaron Jones in a way. So even though we lost something, we gained something at the same time. So that's the best way to answer that.
Good take, Jay. Thanks.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
I think what helps Green Bay is that you look at that division and Packers play games outdoors in November, December, and early January. Josh Jacobs is a physical running back. And if Josh Jacobs needs to blow, A.J. Dillon is a quadzilla physical running back.
Yep.
Plus, Green
Kind
Bay
of reminds me of he could be a modern day version of the Bus. I think A.J. Dillon could be a Jerome Bettis type.
Well, and Green Bay's got a better offensive mind coach, better offensive line, with about 59 wide receivers and tight ends.
Yeah, they're definitely stacked. There's not going to be any shortage of weapons for Jordan Love to utilize in that offense. And something else too. I don't know how many Packers. I know Casey probably didn't watch a lot of Packers games, but
I did.
Oh, you did. Okay, sorry, Casey. Giving you.
I did. I get Green Bay every week. Jason, and I live in upstate New York.
Nice, good man, Jamie. When Green Bay really struggled at the beginning of this season, and they started out, 2-4, 2-5, something like that. Their offense was really, really stale. It had flatlined, and it wasn't really until after, I want to say after the Dallas game, when they beat the Cowboys, when Matt LaFleur opened things up there a little bit and allowed Jordan Love to utilize those receivers a lot more. They were emptying the backfield a little bit more. They used the tight ends a lot more. They got Musgrave more involved, and they got Kraft more involved. It was after that when they really, really took off and darted towards the postseason. So I'm hoping that Matt LaFleur will keep that same philosophy going into next season, and see where that takes them.
Hey, it's almost why they were this close to upsetting the Niners too. Was that
and
philosophy?
Jamie, they had
Aaron Jones not running to the end zone.
Yeah, the Packers had no business losing that game, and I was pissed off as hell that they lost that game. But at the same time, I think they proved a lot to themselves, and they proved a lot to the fan base as well, because there weren't really a lot of Packer fans expecting Green Bay to make the postseason this year, because we didn't know what we were going to get out of Jordan Love. We didn't know what we were going to get out of the defense. We didn't know how the offensive line was going to hold up. So 9-8 going into the postseason, that was kind of a teaser for us heading into next year. So they took their progress, I think, stepped forward by a season or so there in terms of how legitimate of a contender they can be.
And you also add first 7th seed team to actually win one playoff game or win an opening round.
Yeah. Now, with that being said, I never thought I'd hear myself say this, Casey, but I still think the Detroit Lions are going to be the class of that division next season. They should be. But I think it's going to be a very good division. I think obviously Detroit will still be there. Green Bay will be much better. Minnesota is always competitive, dare I say. So, and then Chicago, we don't care about Chicago. So it's still going to be a very
Chicago's going to be a competitor this year, boys.
Yeah.
Chicago, they're obviously going to be good at.
And who their quarterback is, and that's where I'm leaving it.
I'm gonna make a bold.
Chicago's still going to be good at defense, though. With Eberflus, their offense is going to be a work in progress. That's what I think.
I'm gonna make a bold prediction right now. The Chicago Bears will have a different head coach by this time next year.
Oh yeah, they probably will. They'll give Eberflus another year and sacrificial lamb. We'll see what happens.
No, but like I said, the defense will be good in year 3 under Eberflus. The offense is going to be a work in progress. That's what I think.
I have one
He's
question.
built a good defense there already.
I have one question.
Too.
Dylan, real quick, what were your thoughts on getting Mac Jones?
I a lot of people think the Jaguars are crazy. I think Mac Jones has got ability. The problem is Bill Belichick just doesn't know offense. I mean, yeah, Tom Brady, but Tom Brady's the GOAT. He won a Super Bowl in Tampa, which hadn't done anything for 20 years. I think Mac Jones. I mean, we saw Trevor Lawrence on the injury report about 57 times last year, and Mac Jones can be a backup. Plus, I mean, Mac Jones was a Gatorade All-American from Jacksonville, won a national championship at Alabama, so this is a homecoming. Offensive minded head coach in Doug Peterson, and just a clean slate. Because if Trevor Lawrence plays and is a top 5 quarterback this year, people aren't going to talk about Mac Jones. But if something happens with Trevor, Mac Jones plays and plays really well, then people are going to be thinking the Jacksonville Jaguars stole Mac Jones.
All right. I was just curious because when that trade happened, we haven't talked since then. Two of the people below me here, Casey, JT, what were your thoughts on getting Deshaun Elliott? There's mixed emotions in this town about it. One station loves the guy because he thinks it's going to help Minka. The other station thinks he's a complete fucking bomb.
Well, I think that was just a body's move, to be honest with you. Get another veteran presence in there, and then kind of, the Steelers are kind of plugging holes right now. So, I mean, I don't think anybody's like disappointed, and I don't think anybody's really like overwhelmed. But we're back to building this backfield again. We do have that Eric Rowe from before, and he really played well, and Trenton Thompson as well too. So, it's just Steelers' way, just kind of plugging holes here and putting some veteran presence in there. Overall move, we'd give it a B, probably. I would say.
JT, I'm right there with you. I'm impartial about the whole thing, to be honest. I just know it's a puzzle piece, right? So I really can take it or leave it, and there's rhyme or reason behind it, and candidly, it's just not a big move, really, in my mind.
And I like how like Arthur Smith is you can sense his involvement in all this as well too, and they're just kind of like getting rid of some of this dead weight, and the change just continues to ride that theme here with the Steelers off season. I'll tell you the pick that I think most Steeler fans, or the trade, or the pickup, I should say, most Steeler fans are ecstatic about more than Russell Wilson or Justin Fields, is getting Patrick Queen back over from the Ravens.
The Steelers did get a third slot receiver finally. I did not see this. Vaughn Jefferson, we did sign.
Oh yeah, I just saw that today, Adam. Just saw that today. Yep, too. But
fill in good for that. It's like we just picked people off the Rams. We took Allen Robinson. Now we take Vaughn Jefferson.
Yeah.
And you picked Jerome Bettis back in the day in a trade with the Rams, but
we stole Jerome Bettis in that trade.
Yeah, but guess what? That trade did it worked out for both teams though, because that trade did eventually lead to the greatest show on turf for the Rams. So think about it. They don't trade Jerome Bettis to the Steelers. No Kurt Warner, no Super Bowl, no greatest show on turf.
JT, I've got a question.
Bagging clothes? I mean, bagging groceries?
Yeah, Trent Green would have been the starting quarterback too, instead of Kurt Warner. Trent Green didn't blow his ACL out in the preseason.
Well, I'll tell you what, I would never redo that trade. I would never undo that trade. That was one of the best things ever. One of my two most favorite off-season acquisitions. The other one was James Ferrier. Just loved when they took him from the Jets.
From the Jets.
unbelievable. And and we finally
James
we
is a
thought we
great
had
guy.
it.
I got to meet him. I got to meet James.
Yeah. Oh, just a down to
I mean,
earth,
it
down to
wasn't
earth
a very
guy.
long
But
meeting, but I did get to meet him.
since the Shazier injury, though, we've been struggling to plug that middle up in linebackers. Devin Bush, we thought he was the guy. We all know what happened there. But just filling
he's
in
in-
with other
Devin
guys.
Bush out in Seattle, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw where he went somewhere else. Is it Seattle? Is that where
Yeah,
it
it's
is?
Seattle.
Up there with Michael McDonald, defensive coordinator. Well, he used to be the DC for the Ravens.
But the acquisition of Patrick Queen is, I mean, I can't stand the Ravens as a Steelers fan.
Of course not.
That guy is a man amongst boys, and
He
I'm
is.
so happy he's on our team.
He is, and he can cover too. So hopefully, we need a stout guy in the middle like that. One of my favorite middle linebackers, Levon Kirkland, who we've had on the show as well too.
Awesome.
Just an awesome guy like that. And
He's a big dude.
yeah, I wasn't looking forward to meeting up with Queen 2 times a year, but I'm glad he's on our side.
Amen. Preach.
So
Dylan,
excited
hold on.
about that.
Hey, Dylan's got a comment on this. Hold on. Go ahead,
Go
Dylan.
ahead, Dylan.
Are the Steelers too defensive oriented? Because like Pittsburgh's going to have a ton of its cap on defense, and yet the offensive line's still an issue. The Steelers trade the top receiver Deontay Johnson, and now they'll have
Cancer.
Yeah,
I
see,
don't-
that's what we were
I
talking.
don't
That's what we
care.
were talking
I
about.
don't-
That's what we were
I
talking
don't-
about earlier. Omar Khan is cleaning out the bad culture on this team. So he's letting go of the baggage. That's what we were talking about. Deontay Johnson had a lot of drama. Kenny Pickett had a lot
He's a
of
wide
drama.
receiver. Deontay Johnson's a wide receiver. Name me a wide receiver outside of Larry Fitzgerald or Jerry Rice who didn't have a little diva in him.
Well, a little's okay. I mean, we expect a little bit, but he was just problematic. He was just problematic, and he had drops. He went a year without
I
one
called him
touchdown
Johnson for the
catch.
longest time.
Yeah, I
One
mean, it just
touchdown.
the guy's been a challenge. Great route runner, but hands challenged at times, and then the locker room fiasco.
Correct me if
shit.
I'm wrong. He had a 2-point conversion as his only catch in the end zone that 1 year, right? Wasn't even a touchdown.
I think
Last
so.
year?
Yeah,
I
but
think
it was
that's
not
right.
a touchdown though. There was no touchdown.
you.
I think
2-point
that's right.
conversion, I believe. Like, that's
And that's-
horrible. You don't pay a guy 18 mil and he catches no touchdown.
Well, let's not forget about the key play, 3rd and 6, and he's running a crossing route, hit him right in the hands, and he put it on the ground.
Could have been
I
a
mean,
touchdown too.
For
Casey.
$18 million, you need to make that catch.
Right.
I
Yeah,
don't know if that's
so-
worse than George Pickens saying, I don't want to block because I might get hurt.
Then you shouldn't be playing football, George.
You know what? He straightened up. He straightened up a little bit. I don't know if that was Mason Rudolph or just the fact that he was finally getting passes thrown to him. But I think you'll see Pittsburgh utilize him. And, as far as the receivers go, Dylan, we still
He's a physical specimen, George Pickens.
Oh, he is.
Yes.
He is too. But yeah, we're a little shy in the receiver room right now, and
At least we have
Austin
at least
still
we can
has
put
to
people on the
prove.
field now. Okay, at least we can run Calvin Austin, Pickens, and now we can run Vaughn Jefferson in the slot or put Calvin Austin back.
Well,
And
let's
Mike Williams is scheduled to visit with the Steelers here this week as well too.
I thought he came in today.
He might have. I'm not sure.
But he is like visiting all 30 teams.
let's
Well,
not
so-
forget. Let's not forget that the Steelers are notorious for picking out mid to late round talent at the
That
wide
was
receiver.
Kevin Colbert, though.
Okay, fair. That's fair.
I'm not saying we can't miss them. I mean, this is a lot deeper draft on offense this year than it was previous. So I mean, obviously we all watched a little more college ball. Now that they're up in the playoffs, we're going to pay attention a little more and find these guys. I mean, Isaiah Smith, I think he's going to be a stud. and he ain't going to get picked to the 5th, 6th round. He's a running back out of, I think, North Dakota State. Rushed for like 2,000 yards, I believe. I think he's going to wind up being a steal somewhere. Just keep your eye on that guy.
Well, I live near there, and it never works out that way. Very rarely.
All right. Well, on the teams he's playing, he looks like a stud. All right.
Fair. But you're playing the Sisters of the Cloth.
Well, that's what we thought about Randy Moss too.
No, because he had an offer at D1 at Florida State, and he blew it. These guys are not getting offers
Turned down
Florida State
Morgantown too.
to go to Fargo, North Dakota.
He went to Marshall. Well, who the hell heard of Marshall before Randy Moss?
Chad Pennington went there.
Oh, okay. Well, at the same time as Moss. So did Moss make Pennington?
Byron Leftwich.
That's true.
All right. But that was after those two, right?
Lamont Jordan, the running back out of North Dakota State several years ago, got drafted by the Rams and flamed out in about 2 weeks.
Eric Crouch flamed out on the first day.
Ooh,
Oh.
come on.
Carson Wentz is from North Dakota State, and so was Easton Stick. And Easton Stick got an extension as a freaking backup right now. So congratulations to him.
So real quick for all you guys, did you guys see that the NCAA game coming out? EA offered all the people in the game get their name.
$600.
They gave them $600 and a copy of the game. Does everyone think that's fair?
Yes. Anybody who wants in can get in. Anybody who wants out can get out. It's like poker, man.
The problem is that game is going to gross so much stupid money.
Because we've been waiting for 12 years.
And the franchise is already better than Madden. I mean, I believe that NCAA just craps on Madden, I think, all day.
Jay,
I don't know. What do you think,
guy
Adam?
over there?
Adam, what are your thoughts? Do you think that 600 is light?
I don't know. Like, I guess it's better than what they were getting before, which was nothing.
Yeah, which was not being in the game and having to be used on roster downloads by gamers and having to do some under the table stuff.
Right.
Mhm.
I don't know. Like, I guess it's fair to give them something. I mean, they are giving us a great game.
Which I said, this one's still gonna
But
do
my
better
question
than
is,
Madden.
how deep is this game gonna go? Are we
They're
gonna
they're,
get-
they're thinking about going pretty deep. Actually,
are
they've
we
had
gonna
4
get the
years to work
Akron
on
Chips
it.
and the Dayton Flyers, or the Buffalo team that plays on Thursday nights?
UB.
Yeah, UB that plays on Thursday nights. You know what I mean? Like, are they all going to be in the game too?
Yes, they are.
So you're telling me I could take UB to the national championship?
With a 12-team playoff now, they could be in that. They could be the way it's set up. You have to have at least one or two group of 5 teams in that 12-team playoff.
I know I just totally turned this conversation around off pro football, but I feel that that's worth mentioning all that.
Yeah, but Adam, that was a good rhetorical question because before the 12-team playoff, no, you wouldn't been able to take UB to the national championship, but now you have a better shot. And you're going to have an even better shot when it goes to 14 and 2-2-6.
Dylan, do you play video game?
In the past, yes.
Or are you going to play NCAA?
I don't know.
You got it, dude. I think it's so much better than Madden. I mean, I'm the only one who says it.
I mean, be honest. If in the summertime, I focus more of my attention on basketball than trying to get my fantasy football drafts than playing video games.
Hey, fantasy football is more
just,
locked.
just as we got done
Playing
speaking of
these
Patrick
NCAA
Queen
video games are
signing,
once in a
I
lifetime. Go
am
ahead.
bringing in the Ravens guy right now.
Oh,
What's up,
Matt,
boys?
what's going on,
Hey,
man?
Matt.
Good show.
Hey,
You know,
Matt.
I did get to catch some of it.
Hey, I just got done shooting.
Matt,
Adam.
the
I
usual
figure I'd stop over.
suspects. JT down at the bottom now. GT, you got your own row, man.
Good to be here. What do you say, Matt? How you doing, man?
Hey, what's going on, JT? How you doing?
Good, brother.
What's up, fellas? Good to see all y'all again.
Hey, Matt.
Just got done
So,
talking
Matt,
some Orioles baseball. I figure I'd pop over.
Ah, you're good.
Right. That was a good show. Tim Malarkey on the show tonight. That was good.
Yeah, he's one of my listeners, and I'm doing a new segment where we can where I bring on a listener every couple weeks and they talk about what they want to talk about. So he chose
You need to
Orioles.
bring on Beyonce, but that's just me. She looked like she was kicking ass over there in the comments section.
Yeah, his fiance had like 47 comments. It was cool though.
She's not her on.
So y'all were just talking about Patrick Queen, huh?
Yeah.
We were a little bit ago, but now that you're here, we bring it up again. You weren't too happy about the loss, and you said a lot of stuff on your page about it. But go ahead.
I wasn't necessarily happy about it. I wanted to keep Patrick Queen, and for what the Pittsburgh Steelers signed him for, I thought that he was able to be retained at that price here in Baltimore. I'm happy he got paid because that's all that matters when it comes to these guys. They're the only professional sports players in the country that guaranteed contracts. So I'm happy Patrick Queen went and got his payday. I just believe that a lot is being made about it, but I watched Patrick Queen religiously because I'm a Ravens fan for 4 years, and I spoke highly of him at times this year, but Roquan Smith and the defensive front isn't coming with him. So I do know that the Pittsburgh Steelers have arguably the best pass rusher in all of football. Not denying that. Cam Hayward, when he is healthy, he is a dominant nose tackle, interior lineman. They have a good linebacking core in general. They have a good defense in general. I'm even though I can't stand Pittsburgh guys, I will give props where it's due. Tomlin constantly has a good defense. The biggest problem is that Patrick Queen struggles being the guy in the middle of a defense. When he has the green dot, when he has the responsibility of being the main inside linebacker, he struggled mightily. And I'll say this: it's a double-edged sword. If Patrick Queen was such a good inside linebacker, the Ravens would have never had a reason to go and trade a second-round pick for Roquan Smith last year. Or 2 years ago. So that's where a lot of you guys are going to see it because you're happy about the signing. I've had quite a few arguments with Steelers fans in some AFC North chat groups. He's good. When he's good, he is fantastic. When he is off, he is the most infuriating football player you'll ever watch.
Yeah, we had a guy like that a couple years ago, Devin Bush.
You beat me to it.
Yeah. So, well, hey, while we got you here, let's talk about your new running back. How about it?
I'm happy because we lost Gus. Gus was a touchdown machine. Keaton Mitchell won't be back until about Halloween from his ACL tear. And there's definitely JK was not coming back. We kind of knew that was a foregone conclusion, I know we're not getting Derrick Henry of the late 20 teens. He's got a lot of mileage on him between Alabama and Tennessee. But if we can just have this, we have this kind of tradition where we acquire Tennessee Titans stars that are technically over the hill, and they usually give us 1 or 2 really solid years from Derek Mason, Samari Rolle, Steve McNair, and now Derrick Henry. This is essentially a 1-year deal for $9 million. If I can get 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns out of Derrick Henry, I consider that a win.
Sure. Right.
You know, we lost one of our offensive linemen today. Kevin Zeitler signed with the Detroit Lions this afternoon. So our offensive line's going to look a lot different. Our only two starters coming back are Ronnie Stanley and Tyler Linderbaum. So I don't know how that's going to really work out, but it's a low risk, high reward kind of situation.
Now you did re-sign Matabuke. How happy were you on that one?
I was happy we re-signed him when we did because defensive tackles just got paid silly money right after he signed an extension. Chris Jones got paid massively. Christian Wilkins got
$1 million guaranteed. That is
But the thing is,
absolutely
he single-handedly on defense beat us in the AFC Championship game, and he's one of the main reasons why Kansas City went back-to-back. Was he was spearheaded that defense. He is just ungodly good, and Christian Wilkins went and got paid. So I'm kind of cool with Madubuike getting the money he got prior to those guys getting paid because I don't think an extension would have happened.
The edge rushers are the ones getting all the extensions and everything because of their job of rushing the quarterback. That's where the money market's going is edge rushers.
It is. You're absolutely right.
So who's going to fill in for Patrick Queen, Matt?
We drafted this kid, Trenton Simpson, from Clemson last year in the 3rd round. And in week 18 last year, when we played you guys, he had 18 tackles. And
What did I text you?
His 40 times ridiculous for a linebacker. He ran like a 4.39 40-yard dash, I think, Trenton Simpson. He's blazing fast for a linebacker.
Matt, what did I text you whenever I said, should I keep this guy or not? I drafted Trenton Simpson last year on my dynasty team. So I have him stashed away.
Yeah, I told you to keep him.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, because now he's going to get more reps. That's why you should keep him.
Yeah, it was.
That's why I'm not drafted.
And they drafted him in the 3rd round in the event that they lose Queen. I will tell you this right now. I did not see Pittsburgh coming, signing Patrick Queen. I thought for sure that if he wasn't a Seattle Seahawk, he'd have been a Houston Texan. Pittsburgh really shocked me signing him.
I think,
but I'm cool with it though because now it adds a little bit more to the rivalry.
I think he and Tomlin had some history there.
Yeah, he told Patrick Queen he wasn't a Raven. Turns out he was a Steeler.
Yeah, this offseason is really shocking a lot of us Steeler fans because Omar Khan's saying I'm going to run the books here and I'm going to bring in who I want and get rid of the riffraff, Matt. It's time for a new culture, and I like it. I like how it's going.
The one thing the Steelers have always done as an organization, they've never abandoned their roots as a franchise, and that's the one thing I admire them for. They do not abandon their roots when it comes to building a team.
They're ripping them roots out right now.
Yeah, but Jamie, they kind of have over the last, I don't know, I guess you could point AB as a marker on that, but they've kind of gotten away some from that. But I see, like Adam was saying earlier, is that they're getting rid of all that stuff now. They're kind of getting back to those roots, Jamie. So, yeah, it's nice to see the change about and the attitude, the moves that they're making too. You know, you want to be positioned when you go into the draft to be able to pick the best athlete on your board there and not have to be filling starter holes. And so, you know, it's nice to see them making some moves and being aggressive. I think Kevin Colbert was a lot more, conservative in his approach as compared to Khan.
And the good news is Khan's making all these moves without blowing too much cap money and still having cap money left over too, which is a trend now with a lot of teams. Because for those who don't know, with the salary cap, the reason why you see a lot of players leave that you wouldn't think leave now is because the league has a rule, and it requires that by the new league year, every team has to be under the salary cap. No
Right.
team's allowed to be in cap hell by the time the new league year starts, or you can't make acquisitions. That's
Right.
why.
Right.
You know, I do want to commend you guys for one move.
Dylan, you're on mute.
Oh crap! Sorry. So is that why the Dallas Cowboys have basically sat off free agency and let everybody else like spend money, and the Cowboys have seen linemen, linebackers, and running backs leave?
That is
What do you
part of
mean?
that, Dylan. It
They're
is.
being
I know you're trying. I know you're trying to. It's very funny though too, haha. But it is part of that, and that's why they're only $4 million over the cap, which for Dallas is like being under the cap. So
Yeah, and Jerry Jones said the Cowboys were quote unquote all in. Yeah, all in terms of losing players.
Well, they
he has to go back to he
starting
has to
running
go
back
back
in
to his
Dallas
Jimmy
for what?
Johnson route, building through the draft, and like how he did then when he won all those when they won all those Super Bowls. That's how they did it back in the day.
They also restructured Dak Prescott's deal recently. I don't know how much that gets them under the cap, but Dak taking a little bit of a pay cut via restructured contract. So
That's a good move. That's a good move for them.
Hey,
That's
I think Dallas only made 5 moves this offseason.
yeah, they haven't done a lot.
Hey, Joe just finally realizing this over. He really has no choice but to change his philosophy now because he's realizing I've been trying this like every year, and yet we either get bounced in the first round or the divisional round, and he's basically saying I'm tired of doing that, so let's just go a different route and say what the hey and see what happens.
Sorry, Dallas has made 4 moves.
JT, what's your do you have a
I know-
Twitter?
Who changed the screen?
Yeah, we're out on
Oh,
Twitter. We're out on X or whatever as Steelers. I believe it's Steelers_realm.
Thank you.
Yeah. I believe that's what it is.
You know,
Either
I'm-
Steelers
I'm,
realm or Steelers_.
You know, I wanted to mention one move that the Steelers made, and I hate that I'm like in such agreement with it. But Justin Fields for a 6th round pick, you might as well have, not even concealed the gun in a highway robbery right there.
Matt,
Because-
to make it worse, it's all next year.
But the thing is, and
not this
that's
Not this
smart
draft.
move
No
by
one
the
understands
GM.
that. It's not this draft. It is next year's draft. The 25.
But here's the thing:
It's not even
he's
this
not
year.
a start. He's not a starting caliber quarterback, but he could be this generation's version of Taysom Hill. Get him on the field and put the ball in his hands, whether
Exactly.
it's throwing, catching, or running with the ball.
Or
That dude is an
or
all-around
Matt, this is what I
pure
was gonna
athlete.
say that they could do too. Russell Wilson's the quarterback. You put Justin Fields out there, do a double quarterback Philly special between Fields and Russell Wilson or something like that as a trick play.
Absolutely. In Pittsburgh, we like to
mean-
call that slash.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have questions.
Good
We don't
old,
know if you're
Cordell
wide
Stewart.
receivers. Duvernay's gone. Beckham's a free agent still. Well, what's going on in the wide receiver core there besides Zay Flowers?
we're gonna sign Michael Thomas to some absurd amount of money, and we're gonna.
And then you're gonna draft
Zay and Bateman
Kendrick
and whatever
Coleman.
retread we get.
Or Keontae.
Any-
I think you're gonna
I
draft.
don't know anything about the draft right now.
Keontae
I'm still.
Coleman.
Have you even looked
If
at
we
anything,
draft a
Matt?
1st round wide receiver, I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind.
That's what Joe Klatt has you guys taking from Fox, Keontae Coleman to complement Zay Flowers. That's why.
Joe Klatt's a hack.
We need to draft a damn offensive lineman. I don't care what we do, offensive line or cornerback. We need to draft one of those positions first and foremost. You can find a speedy wide receiver in the 2nd or 3rd round. I'm tired of this stuff. Drafting a 5'6" wide receiver that doesn't have 200 pounds on their
Keontae
body frame.
Coleman's like 6'4".
I'm sorry.
215.
But I'm just saying, I mean, I have to do my research for the draft because I'm kind of in baseball mode right now. But
Keontae
Yeah.
Coleman's a big boy. before
Can
the
he-
save.
Jamie.
A-
Matt asked
Adam,
about-
you know how to irritate me.
What, Matt?
Who, you? Me?
What are we
Weren't you
gonna
going to
do
ask
about
about
the
my
Steelers?
team, Adam, and how the Bills were doing? You keep forgetting.
I was gonna let you ramble about your Bills.
Trade
will-
us Stephon
will.
Diggs.
I will, Rand. I'll try to make it as coherent as possible. But so obviously, let's trace our steps back. They started in a huge hole, $41 million over the salary cap. Lost to Kansas City again on a wide right field goal, close game. Had to get rid of the first batch of the era. We called it an end of an era. Had to get rid of Poyer and T. White and everything, and you lose friendships and everything like that. But the one thing about that is more playing time for other guys. So like with Trey White being gone, they extended Teron Johnson, and then with Jordan Poyer gone, they extend Taylor Rapp to contract. So and then hopefully with T. White being gone now, and then they get their money on June 1st, it'll elevate Kyer Elam. This is his last chance to prove it with more playing time now that we did not make a mistake drafting him. But yeah, and I like we signed Curtis Samuel, 3 years, $24 million. Could be our version of Tyreek Hill if Josh Allen can get him the ball, because he's blazing fast and is built like Tyreek Hill, can stretch the field, be a safety blanket in the middle of the field for the Bills. I still think we're going to draft some receivers, but it might not be until the second or third round, because I think we're going to take Cooper DeJean in the first round, because we need a corner, obviously, and it's a passing league. You never have enough corners. But yeah, and it's obviously sad to see some of the original players that McDermott brought in go, but it means younger players or more playing time for younger players and new guys to step up and create a new era and hopefully finally get to where we want to be.
Will Steph Diggs be a Buffalo Bill? Because isn't like this week where the Bills have to make the decision on him?
Yeah, but they already said they're gonna have to wait until the summer now, because they said his salary is fully guaranteed. But
So Jamie,
what?
so
Yeah.
losing T. White and Jordan Poyer is massive to that defense.
It is
Corner.
massive, but they were getting older, and they had a big cap hit, both of them. That's why.
Okay.
They were salary cap casualty moves. As I mentioned, they were $41 million over after the season ended.
Yeah, that's a pile, but you hate to see guys like that go, for sure.
Right, as I said, you lose friendships with a lot of those guys, but it also means more playing time for other guys and younger guys to fill in those roles, and it means cap friendly extensions to other guys too, as I mentioned. And as long as you got Brandon Big Baller Bean as the GM, and as long as McDermott is still there, I mean, they're still planning on their goals haven't changed. It's just now it's about getting cap space and getting more playing time for other guys now, and because they're a deep team. That's why.
So Jason, question for you, Green Bay style.
Yeah, go for it.
So do you see Christian Watson? I really liked what I saw out of Love in the back half of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
And do you see more growth for Christian Watson? There's an NDSU guy that is doing something.
Yep.
But and Romeo Dobbs, do you think that those receivers are going to be now that I mean, it's certainly not a Devontae Adams, for example, but do you feel like those receivers are going to be enough for you with the strides that Jordan Love has taken, and of course the addition with Jacobs?
Yeah. From what I've seen out of all those receivers so far, Casey, I've been satisfied, especially with Jaden Reed specifically and Romeo Doubs. In the postseason, both of those guys stepped up and made some really huge catches, especially in the divisional round against the 49ers. Christian Watson, if he didn't have that hamstring injury that kept him out for about, I think it was 6 or 8 games, almost half the season, he could have had over 1,000 yards receiving. And Casey, and specific with Christian Watson, he reminds me a lot of Sterling Sharp. I know that's a really, really big comparison, but the reason I say he reminds me of Sterling Sharp is because, like Sterling, he's a big, tall, physical receiver. 6'4". Sterling Sharp was about 6'4", 195, 200 some odd pounds, but he is built. He has the physique to not only be a very good physical receiver, but a very good breakaway type receiver as well. And I think if he can just stay healthy, he can be the number 1 star receiver that they need. But with that being said, when you look at the abundance of talent that those receivers have, guys that have the ability to make the catch, guys that have the ability to break away from their defenders, Casey, that offense is not predicated on having 1 star receiver. It's, you've heard the old saying, addition by subtraction. Well, they don't need a big star there to have that offense flow fluently. And that's what impressed me the most about these young receivers, and with Jordan Love specifically, is that Jordan identified what these guys do well. He identified the deep guys. He identified the guys that make the tough catch over the middle. He identified the guys that can keep those toes in bounds while they're making a catch going out of bounds, i.e. Romeo Doubs and Dontavian Wicks. So, but circling back to Christian Watson, I love Christian. All he's got to do is stay healthy. I think he and Jordan Love can really develop that chemistry to be the next big thing. I'm hoping they can. Obviously, that's a bold statement in this day and age of the NFL, but I really like where they're going with this group of young skill players there.
Very nice.
I do too. I like what Green Bay's done here. No receiver over 2 years. They're all going to grow. It's going to be dangerous, I feel.
Yeah, and the scary thing is they're not even in the prime.
Throw in Tucker Kraft and Luke Musgrave. Now you got to worry about Josh Jacobs and AJ Dillon at the same time. I feel Green Bay.
Double tight end set there. That's what we talked about, Jason.
Yep.
Remember when I wrote about that in the comments section?
I sure do. And, I haven't spoken enough about Tucker Kraft and Luke Musgrave, but I really think I should because, and with those 2 tight ends, I see a good combination that you need at tight end. You have one guy who's a better blocker than the other one. You have another than the other one who's the better blocker. But with that being said, they have soft hands. I really, really, really love Musgrave. Really love Musgrave as a pass receiver. I think in the next 2 or 3 years, this guy's going to be one of the best tight ends in the National Football League. So I'm really excited about those 2 guys in specific. And we know that Matt LaFleur loves to have tight ends that can stretch the field and keep the defenders honest in the middle of the field. And both of those 2 guys fit the bill for Matt LaFleur in that offense.
Tight end slowly becoming a tight end driven league too.
It's been a tight end driven league for a while, Jamie. I mean, you go back even 20 years. I mean, Tony Gonzalez, you've had guys like Tony Gonzalez, Todd Christensen, who used to play for the Raiders. I remember, Casey, the Vikings had an outstanding tight end by the name of Steve Jordan, who was one hell of a receiver out of the backfield there. So, yeah.
But like I said, I think Gronk, though.
Gronkowski.
Gronk towards the end of the Patriots dynasty, and then Travis Kelce coming in. I think that really made it a tight end game, though. Look at last year. Last year proved that it's really a tight end driven league with how tight ends produced last year, especially the 2023 class.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's not forget about Antonio Gates.
I just said it. Antonio Gates.
If you're going old school Chargers, how about Kellen Winslow Sr.?
Hell yeah.
Oh, back in the Air Coryell days. I love it, Dylan. Love it. I love it. But yeah, Jamie, you're right. The tight end
Or
is
Jason
becoming,
Witten.
yeah, Jason Witten too. The tight end is becoming a
Campbell.
more focal point of that offense now. So you're right, Jamie. It's a really tight end driven league now, more than it has been among those older guys that I mentioned from all the great years past.
Hey, you don't have to look. How about current Lions coach Dan Campbell? He was a tight end too in the
And
NFL.
he was a darn good one too. He was a really good physical blocking tight end. He was good.
Yeah, he played with the Cowboys. It was actually the second tight end opposite of Jason Witten.
He also played with the Giants and the Miami Dolphins and the Saints. So he was on some decent teams there.
Yeah.
I think Mark Andrews is going to have a big year this year if he can stay
I
healthy.
forgot to mention Mark Andrews. I'm sorry there, Matt. Forgot to mention Mark Andrews, your boy.
Hey, it's all good. Andrews is still top 5. He had a little bit of a down year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if he can stay healthy, I feel he's going to be a top 5 again, Matt.
That injury killed him.
So we also got another good one coming up with Isaiah Likely.
JT, you're on mute.
My team's got 2. Kincaid
Yes, they
and
do,
Kincaid and Dawson Knox. Yep.
Dylan, who tight end's going on in Jacksonville?
Well, didn't Evan Ingram catch 100 balls last year?
He's great too.
Well, yeah, because he's finally got a quarterback and an offense capable of using him.
Love Evan Engram. It's just too bad the Giants didn't know how to use that. Exactly, Dylan. The Giants didn't know how to use them.
Well, yeah, because for some reason the Giants ownership thinks Daniel Jones is the second coming of Eli Manning.
Part of that was Eli Manning, too, not using Evan Engram, too, not just Daniel Jones. Hate to put Eli Manning on blast for that, but that was towards his end of his career when that.
By the way, Jamie, what's with all the ex-Bills in Jackson? Because we not only got Gabriel Davis, but Mitch Morse.
And you got.
Hey, they wanted to get their payday, like a typical upstate New Yorker, leave New York because of high taxes, go to Florida where it's warmer because of lower taxes, get your payday, their dollar goes further there.
I mean, but finally got an offensive line for Trevor, then get Eric Holmson from the 49ers, plus the safety, who was the safety from the Packers? Savage.
Darnell Savage, yeah.
You also signed, you also got Duvernay, right?
That's all kick
Yeah, they got
slash
Duvernay.
punt return.
Hey, fellas.
Matt, I know you got to be up
early
at
morning.
4
Thanks for
a.m.
letting me
How
hop
do we
on.
get a hold of you? How do we get a hold of you, buddy?
Y'all, it's right here on the screen. If y'all can read it for the folks watching that will be watching at BWATB podcast. I am on the Driving to the Top network with you, Adam, on YouTube and Twitch, and you can find me on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Pandora, and iHeartRadio.
Nice. When's your next show, Matt?
Thanks
real
for
quick?
having me, fellas. Should be shooting later on this week. Got a little bit more Orioles content coming out. Fellas, it was a pleasure talking ball with y'all. Hope to do it again soon.
Hey, Matt.
Have a good night, fellas.
All right.
Always,
Take care.
Matt. Always, Matt. Welcome anytime, buddy. All right.
Good to get
So,
his
Matt?
take. Definitely.
For sure.
You got the piss off a Ravens fan. I'm sorry. Their receiving core is going to hurt.
The Ravens don't need a receiving core with Lamar Jackson and King Henry.
You still need receivers.
Well, they can't.
He tried to say Keontae Coleman was a 5'6" receiver. The guy from Florida State, he's 6'4", 215 pounds. It's a big boy.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
By the way, Jamie, I actually think Coleman would look good in a Bill jersey.
Yeah, I know, but I know, but I'm still a Brian Thomas Jr. guy though, and that's the thing. I have such
He
allegiance
won't be
for
there
him.
at 28. He won't be there.
That's why we may have to trade up to get him because we got like 12 draft picks. We could bundle some.
Yeah, but there's a team with the 17th pick that might like Mr. Thomas.
Oh, Jacksonville.
Yep.
All right. So we will end the show tonight, boys, on who you think they're going to draft. Obviously, we got two Steeler fans there, Steeler fan here. Who they're going to draft at their pick. Say your show, say your Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. And then that's how we'll end the show. So which one of you two got to go first? I don't really care. Don't know.
Hey, Casey.
Well, I think the Steelers they gotta continue the focus on the offensive line. That's key to keeping a quarterbacks upright and getting the running game going. If not, I think we have to go into the defensive backfield. Patrick Peterson is no longer there. That is going to be a piece that needs to be filled at some point. And I'm not all that familiar with some of the younger guys coming up through the channel right now that didn't see a lot of playing time last year. But for me, it's offensive line. I think we grab a wide receiver in the later rounds, the mid to late rounds, and take a flyer on that there. But that's where I see the Steelers going. And let me just jump in here again. Vikings, they're going up. Quarterback, they're all in, and they're going to build around Justin Jefferson, and they're going to build around whoever the new quarterback is going to be.
Alan Jordan. You don't think it's going to be Sam Darnold?
I do not think it's going to. That's a bridge at best.
That's a
I think
rickety
it's
bridge.
J.J.
A rickety bridge at best.
They put a lot of money into that guy.
I'll
That's
tell you
the
what.
Indiana Jones bridge.
10
there,
mil.
Casey.
I'll tell you what. I bet the over on Sam Darnold's thoughts compared to the other guy in Minnesota, to the other guy at the Vikings draft.
To start, I could see that.
All right. Jason, I know it's well past your time. Your wife's probably like, get the hell off of it.
Yep. So
Go ahead. What do you think the Green Bay is going to do? Then
I
say how
don't
they get a hold of you, and you can bounce.
yeah, I don't know exactly what like the name player they're going to take, but I know that they're two
I
biggest.
just want to
questions.
see what position. We'll do draft another day.
Yeah, so I think position-wise, I think we're going to take either a quarterback or a safety in the first round. That's one of their areas of need on their roster. That's just what I feel the direction they're going to go there in the first round, since they're set up the skill position players. And yeah, that's my prediction. And you guys can follow me on Twitter at Dodger Jason right there. I'm in the works on getting my own podcast, thanks with Adam's help. So hopefully I'll be able to get my own show going there pretty soon. But until then, please feel free to follow me on Twitter, and look forward to interacting with you guys in the near future here.
All righty.
All right.
JT.
Thanks
Hey, good to
again.
meet you, Jason.
All right.
Thanks,
You
thanks.
too, JT.
Hey, we'll talk, buddy.
Yeah.
Good to see you again,
absolutely.
Jason.
See
You
you,
too,
Jason.
Casey. You guys take care. God bless everybody.
All right, Jay. Have a good one, man. JT.
Well, I think, I have to agree with Casey on this one. We got to go offensive line. We got to protect these new quarterbacks we got here. I know JPJ has been thrown around. Was that the center from Oregon? But offensive line, I think we address, later rounds, we're going to see some backfield help, maybe even pick up another linebacker along the way, and some receivers, in the later rounds. We have in the past done pretty good with receivers, so hopefully that trait continues on with the con artist
He's that guy
himself.
from Oregon is 6'6".
He's just a mauler, man. He's not human.
Yeah, I read he was like, Bo Nix. No wonder why he's able to do so good.
But yeah, looking forward to seeing that. it's hard to say. Somebody put a comment out on social media today that said, it's been 5 hours and we haven't heard anything from the Steelers. What's going on? So
This is awkward. We're in awkward times right now with these Steelers.
yeah, it's really hard to say what is going to
He's
happen.
doing a lot of good things right now. He's kind of running the team how he wants to run it finally.
Yeah, and I like that. I mean, I like the change thing. I like the attitude going in, and it's going to be. I'm telling these guys, it's going to be a fun camp and preseason going into it. Hell, going into the draft yet. There's so much movement to be had yet with these teams. So I'm looking forward to watching it all. But hey, great to be with you guys. Adam, thanks for inviting me again. Once again, you can catch our main link
today.
SteelersRealm.com. You can catch us there. We're on live on Facebook, Twitter, and our YouTube channel every Thursday at 9:00. And you can catch all our links and links to all of our shows right on SteelersRealm.com too. So looking forward to seeing you guys again, catching up with you.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, JT. I need that advisor in my life for the golf course.
Dude, I have a whole collection of these. Every year I get a new visor. Can't wear a hat, but I get a visor.
Nice.
So
Jay, I know I threw a screwball at you today, but I said we were just going to talk Steelers, but these guys want to talk NFL, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to bring JT on to meet these guys.
Hell yeah, man. Good to meet you guys.
Love it.
Mm-hmm. So we'll definitely catch up. We'll do an all Steeler talk here. Eventually, we'll break it down.
Oh, definitely. We're gonna be getting into it. Hey, listen, you Steeler fans out there, I know, being in Nebraska, Casey, it might be tough to make it, but they're actually coming to my hometown here, Indiana, Pennsylvania, home of IUP. The Steelers charity basketball game is going on April 13th here at the Kowalczyk Center in the heart of IUP. So looking forward to being there and making some connections there too. The promoter actually reached out and asked for some support to promote it. So thought I would do that too. So spread the word. April 13th at IUP, Steelers charity basketball game. Should be a lot of fun. And we're going to try to actually broadcast from the game if we can.
Yeah, I was going to say, go on eBay. I got this little traveling kit that plugs into your phone. Okay. And then it comes with two mics that clip on, and you can go live.
Oh yeah, I actually have one of those. And
I got the 2-set one. So like you said, you're going to do a show to do a live event. That way you could like have your guest talk on it. I got it on eBay for $12. I couldn't.
Oh yeah, they're fantastic too. They pick up from like 60 feet away too.
I was pretty impressed. I haven't used it yet on my show, but I did my own show, just a little recording to see if they worked, and I was like, these things are pretty good.
Hey, JT, follow me back on X, and I'd be happy to retweet your charity event.
Sure, I'll do that. I was going to make a post here. He sent me a full PDF too. I was going to do a post with that, and I'll do that. I got everybody's links here, so looking forward to reaching out to you guys.
I'm a member of the collecting card community as well, so I have quite a bit of following on that front.
Nice, good deal.
Alrighty. Dylan, which team we going? Jags? We going Miami? We going Tampa? Where are we going?
The wild card.
No, we're going everywhere here in Florida. I mean, you can hit me up Twitter, Dylan S Sports 1, Big D Podcast, Spunky Spectrum Sports YouTube page. See my run a virtual 5K with this little guy, my GoPro Hero 8.
Oh wow.
That's what I use my GoPro.
I'll be out with a March Madness preview probably tomorrow, maybe other episodes this week. So it's going to get spicy. By the way, UConn's going to win UConn's going to win the NCAA men's tournament.
So you got the opponent Kansas City Chiefs. You got him repeating.
Yes.
Who you taking lineman? Offense? Defense?
Right now, I would say the Jags take Quinion Mitchell, the corner from Toledo.
All right. Bills guy, what you got?
Thank you, Adam. Guys, thank you so much for listening. You can follow me, Jamie Malloy at DJ Dog Tags. The Bills, in my prediction, with the 28th pick in the first round, I think we select Iowa cornerback Cooper DeJean. And then with our second round pick in this at 60th overall, we select South Carolina wide receiver Xavier Leggett or Oregon's Troy Franklin if Brian Thomas and Keandre Coleman already go in the first round. And you can also follow me here on Driving the Top Productions. And don't forget to catch my first New York Subway Combo Chat baseball show with me and Joe Dalio this Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. And you could also follow us on my Bills Chat 1 at Bills Mafia Chat account, where I also do a Bills podcast that's on hold right now with me and Joe. We'll be starting that up again in July when training camp starts. And
We're not going to get a draft preview.
yeah, I think we'll get. Yeah, I think we'll bring it back for a draft preview and a draft recap in April, and then we'll get it really fully started in July. So yeah, you guys can also follow me at theforkball.com, where I'm writing articles about many different sports now.
Nice. I'm with these guys. I think we go lineman. I'd love to get that guy from Oregon, big center. I've been looking at him. I think we'd have to trade up and get him, though, guys. I really do. Doesn't matter how deep the quarterback is. It doesn't matter how deep the wide receiver core is. This is a generational guy, I feel.
We need a new DeMonte Dawson. That's what we need.
Indeed. By the way, I think Mike Webster celebrated another birthday here today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we get his son on every once in a while, Garrett. But yeah, generational linebackers.
Mike Webster. I should bring
Adam,
that out.
Thank you so much for hosting tonight. Just want to share a little appreciation and a little shout out for you for putting this together, and happy to be here. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. And happy to talk sports with you guys.
Hopefully we can make this a regular thing. I'm all about it. Trying to get back on pace, and that's all we can do.
There you go.
JT, send us information on the April 13th. I'll share it as much as I can. I'll share it to my group and my couple groups, and we'll get it out there.
Sounds good. Appreciate that, guys. Have a great rest of your week, man. Good to talk football with you.
Alrighty, guys. Well, hey, everybody, have a good night. If you want to stick around for a minute afterwards, we can bullshit or not. Totally up to you. If not, everybody, thank you for coming on, and everybody have a good night.
Mm-hmm.